So starting today, the airlines have been told to fly fewer planes during the shutdown.
Flight cuts at 40 of the busiest U.S. airports are in effect this morning. It could affect up to 4,000 flights a day. Kris Van Cleave is at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, one of the airports affected by all this. Kris, good morning.
Well, good morning. They're literally sounding the alarm here at Sky Harbor for something, but it's an apt metaphor for what's going on across the nation's airspace. Controllers unpaid, under pressure, stressed and fatigued, prompting the FAA to order airlines to cut flights. It starts at 4%, builds to 10% into the nation's 40 busiest airports, and it starts now. With thousands of flights set to be canceled at airports across the country this weekend, traveler frustration over the government shutdown and its impact is mounting.
It's going to probably increase flight times. It's going to increase flight prices.
Republicans, Democrats come together, find a little of reason.
Cancel some travel next month and choosing to drive based on that so that won't have any issues.
And it appears many Americans are making backup plans to hit the road. Hertz reporting one-way rental reservations for this weekend are up 20% compared to last year at this time. It comes as airlines were told to cut flights at 40 high-volume travel hubs, including Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Chicago, Los Angeles, and all 3 major New York City area airports.
We're trying to be as transparent as we can.
David Kinzelman is United Airlines Chief Customer Officer. He says the company expects to cut nearly 200 flights a day this weekend.
The good news here is this isn't coming at a time when we have high volumes. It's not peak summer travel. It's not holidays. So we feel really comfortable that we will have availability across the system to be able to accommodate customers on other flights.
The Air Traffic Controllers Union says the nation was thousands of controllers short before the shutdown. Now many existing controllers are calling out sick, some even quitting after having gone weeks without pay and receiving a second $0 pay stub Thursday.
They're worried about putting gas in their car. They're worried about putting food on the table. They can't even pay for childcare in some instances. So as that risk increases, you have to begin reducing the capacity of the system.
And this emergency order will impact commercial flights, cargo flights, even private jet flights and space launches. Airlines found to be in violation could face significant fines, $75,000 per flight over the limit, Tony.
All right, Kris, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy joins us now for more on this. Mr. Secretary, thank you very much for joining us. I think we all know how we got into this problem. I think we all know what the solution is. But I want to talk about the decision that happened quite suddenly on Wednesday to reduce flights in the air starting today. You say it was based on the data. People are real curious about that data. Can you share the numbers? What set off the alarm bells?
Yeah, so first, I have a lot of jobs at DOT. My number one job is safety. And so we had seen the rolling staffing triggers that come from air traffic controllers. One day it was in LA, another day it was in New York, Minneapolis, Atlanta. And so as we were looking at the data, we were seeing increased numbers in some of the categories we don't like. And it's because we have controllers, the same controllers usually show up for work, and the same controllers that don't show up. And so we saw controllers working 6 days a week, 10-hour days. That pressure on the controllers were giving us numbers that were not troubling, but were concerning. And so my job is to be preemptive, to take preemptive action based on the data, which is what we've done. We'll share the data later with the airlines, with the Congress. But right now, it's about making the right decisions at the right time to keep people safe.
Mr. Secretary, I just want to follow up on that. I cannot imagine being an air traffic controller right now. They got to make hard choices about paying their own bills. We've been reading articles about them taking jobs with Uber and DoorDash, stocking groceries, you name it. It's a tough place to be in right now. But you said data later. A lot of people want data now to think about this. Rick Larson, who's the top Democrat on the Transportation Committee, says more transparency is needed. Can you share just a little bit more of what you got underneath the hood?
Listen, I talked to Rick. He's a friend of mine, and I know he was going to ask for the data. And if I have people who want to second guess what we're doing, why we're doing it, I've done all I can to minimize disruption in the airspace. I'm trying to get people where they want to go and get them there safely. If people want to question us, I would throw it back at them, open up the government. You know, that we have to take unprecedented action is because we are in an unprecedented situation with a shutdown. And so, by the way, if I don't take this action, Rick might be the first one to come at me and say, why didn't you look at the data and why didn't you take action to keep people safe? He wants to go at me one way or the other, no matter what I do. And so, again, I have a #1 job of keeping people safe. I've looked at data. I want to be preemptive, and I want to make sure people are safe in the system. And by the way, this was not a political decision. We did this with the safety team at the FAA. We did it with the administrator of the FAA. As that data came in, we decided to make the decisions that we thought were appropriate.
Yeah, listen, I would think nobody would want to mess with safety at this time, Secretary Duffy.
No.
I'm flying to the West Coast today. I'm booked on 3 different flights. I'm a nervous wreck about it. My big concern is safety. I'm curious about the specific safety concerns that you have. What are you most worried about here?
Well, again, it comes back to controller fatigue. And if I can reduce the capacity because I have reduced controllers, I think that takes pressure out of the system, right? Again, if you have the same volume of flights, that's still a lot of pressure to get those flights, even though they're delayed up in the air or on the ground. That's more pressure on controllers, and I have less of them than I did a month ago. And as you mentioned in the package, Nick from the Air Traffic Controllers Union mentioned, we're 2,000 controllers short already. So we're already understaffed. We need to bring more controllers in, and then you take controllers out of towers because they're driving Uber or they're waiting tables. It creates a unique set of problems. And a controller can work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day for maybe a couple weeks. But if you start doing that for a month, that creates a different set of problems that I have to look at. And again, I'm less concerned about what the lead in the Senate or the House might say to me in the Democrat Party. I'm more concerned about what the family is going to say to me in an airport to say, I want to make sure that I'd love to travel on time, but I want to make sure I get there to my destination safely.
That's my biggest fear. We're all members of somebody's family. How close do you think we are, Mr. Duffy, to ending the shutdown? Are you guys even talking behind the scenes? What's your take on how long this is going to take?
So, Gayle, listen, there's conversations that are happening, and that's a good thing. Here's my concern. As you're traveling this weekend, know that the Senate's going home, right? They're going to be home with their families. I think they should be here all weekend, every week, working on deals to open up the government. And I'll just tell you, Republicans have voted 14 times to open up the government. Democrats have to figure out, what do they want? Leverage is not an answer. What do you want? Have a conversation. I think the way we should do this, Gayle, is say, I want to make sure I get a debate and a vote on something that's a priority for me. You can't guarantee an answer because of a shutdown, but you can guarantee a vote and a debate. I think that's the right solution. Let the process work, and then let's get about the business of serving the American people.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.